Joining me are two special guests, Joel Lightman and Cody Fenwick, co-founders of the Great Canadian Dueling Pianos. And they're here today to talk about their background and how it all began, this unique concept, Great Canadian Dueling Pianos, rather. Welcome.
Yeah,
well, thank you very much. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, I'm Cody, and that's Joel right over there. We do this all the time on stage.
Yeah, you have such incredible backgrounds. Like Cody, you're a producer, performer, and you also have your own music company, Fenwick Music, from my understanding, and assistant music director for the 64th Academy Awards.
That's right.
And can you
that was quite
can
a
you
while
tell
ago.
us more?
Oh my goodness. Well, you know, that's my bio. My bio goes on for days, but just, you know, it just mentions people that I've worked with. But to put this all in a nutshell, a lot of us over the years who've been live musicians have migrated to the studio work, including myself. And I was coerced by a friend of mine who is a pianist to come out and see him perform in what he called the most amazing thing that he stumbled on in his many years as a solo piano player. And it was this thing called dueling pianos. And I didn't know anything about this. This I think was about 2009, 2010. So I go to see this show with my wife and we can't get in. It was just, there was a line out front to get in. And I managed to peek around the corner to see what was going on. And it was bedlam on the inside. It was like people jumping all over the place and having fun. And, you know, the guys are dancing all over the stage. And I'm going, this is dueling pianos? What the heck is this? So finally, we came back after an hour and we got a chance to get in and we sat down and I looked at it and I went, wow. And that was my involvement with it almost immediately. Because it breaks that wall between the audience and the performer. That's what, you know, the fourth wall, whatever you want to call it, and involves the audience in what's going on. Because what actually happens is we're taking requests all the time, constantly. So it becomes a personal thing for the person who gives the request. It could be a dedication or blah, blah, blah. Anyway, fast forward about another 6 years and I meet this bloke over here, this guy, you know. The guy with the beard who can't sit still over here.
And unfortunately, Dennis, I have an issue with saying still, sorry.
Yeah, he can't sit still. So this is perfect because he just like, you know. And I met Joel. He actually came down to the cabaret, which we were performing in because I started performing there with my friend Alec. And it built and built and built. And it was fantastic. And I did another stint with him. But basically, Joel came to me and said, why don't we do this on a semi-permanent basis and start a company? And long story short, we have this company now and we've been quite successful over the past 3 years until COVID. And then all of a sudden, COVID just blew the lid off of just about every musician you probably have talked to. And Joel and I really had to have a strong think as to how we do this as our clients just fell left, right, and center, just falling like dominoes. And we decided to do something on Facebook. Maybe Joel can take it from there. He can tell you a little bit about that part of it.
Yes. Joel.
When we started streaming, we just thought, you know, this would be a good way to utilize our time. And, you know, like, we had no real expectations. It didn't cost us a lot of money to get set up because we had quite a lot of equipment sitting around. And then we finished doing our first stream and we did it from the club that we had in downtown Toronto, which is now sadly closed. Thank you, COVID. And we looked in our PayPal at the end of the show and went, well, that's a decent night's work.
Yeah.
And then we thought, well, all right, let's do a couple more. And so we did a few more. And then it turned into this every Saturday and every Wednesday. And we have a community of people who come regularly, about 500 or 600 people. Like, not at every show, but they're definitely faces and names that we recognize. And these people come and they show their generosity. We never charge for the show. It's always like, if you're enjoying yourself or if you want your request to get like some priority and get it straight to the front of the line, there's a very good way of doing that. We are musicians. We call it lobbying. And, you know, it's been really amazing. genuinely, we're both very humbled by the outpouring of love that we've had from people and giving people an outlet for something that we love to do and they love to come and see. Like, we've been incredibly lucky. Yeah, and as the weather has got better and the regulations have been relaxed, we've started to go out and do like parties on people's streets for these events. So like, we've taken this community, and whilst the initial community is like coast to coast in Canada, there's quite a lot of people here in Toronto and slightly further afield, and we're going out and playing their street parties and like giving them the real life version of what they've been watching through a screen.
But yes. Initially, the reason we are kind of reaching out was our story. And the story is that two musicians can still keep this thing going, even through all of this crap that we've been experiencing for 17 months or however long it's been. I've lost track. We started in March of last year. I do remember. No, the year before. March of last year, right?
16 months.
16 months, yeah. So it's crazy, and we managed to keep ourselves afloat. Then we got we were fortunate to get one of our clients who had started a virtual pay stream, which we got involved with. So we started to get corporate clients through that, where they would, present us with corporate clients, and we would do an hour or two for people who were doing their corporate functions completely virtually. So we were, so we managed to actually stay afloat, of course, with, abide, some pretty difficult circumstances financially. And we're here. And that's what we really wanted to tell people, was we wanted to let them know that not to give up, and this is what perseverance can do. And, to kind of get the word out. Now, of course, we're a little late on the draw because now things are starting to open up a little bit, which
makes us both so very happy.
Yes, we were incredibly happy to have one of our first performances for live people yesterday.
Yes, wonderful. I mean, you'll still keep doing this virtually,
absolutely,
right?
I think we'll live stream various things. I think it's been an amazing way to connect with people, and it would seem a shame to build all that community and go, oh, right, well, back to life. Sorry, guys. So I think we're definitely going to have an element of live streaming. I mean, we're certainly right now, we're like taking a little bit of a break because it's quite nice to do a show and not be looking at a screen. But we're definitely going to be live streaming because there are too many people out there who can't necessarily get to live music. Like, we've had people who are in seniors' homes who've really enjoyed the shows, and that's an outlet that they're unlikely to be able to come and experience live. So it's nice to be able to say to them, come watch the show. Even if we're outside, we'll set up a camera, get some audio going, send it to people, and then everyone gets to experience it in a way that, I mean, wouldn't have been possible even 5 years ago.
Yes. I mean, it's so thankful to have this technology. And, you have such a wide variety of songs that you play. And I've watched Blue Suede Shoes. That was great.
We do everything List to Lizzo is what we say, or Broadway to Brittany. It's funny, the wide variety, because everyone likes a different thing, right? So we could be playing Frank Sinatra 1 minute and Eminem the next minute. One of my favorite things about this gig is that you turn up to work having absolutely no idea what you're going to play. We could be playing stuff from the 40s and Cole Porter and Elvis, and then like some old rock and roll, or we could be playing stuff that came out in the charts last week. It's so fun to just come up and like, what do you guys want to hear? And that's one of the nicest things about the show, because it becomes really personal to the audience, because we turn up, we sit down like, I have no idea what we're going to play, so you tell us.
Yes, that's wonderful. I mean, is there a favorite tune you like to do? Is there one?
Well, we have our showpiece. We have our showpiece tunes that we do, like Bohemian Rhapsody and, of course, Piano Man, or we call it the Unholy Trinity, which is Piano Man. We call it the Unholy Trinity because we get those requests a lot. So, they're those, but I wouldn't call those our favorite tunes.
Bohemian Rhapsody is funny, right? When people ask for Bohemian Rhapsody, they're normally asking for it as a joke because they don't think we can do it.
Right.
So I quite like confounding people's expectations. Not only can we do it, but we do it amazingly well.
Yeah, with fun.
I love that.
The whole sense of fun is what we want to do.
Yes, no, that's wonderful. And so you have a studio in Toronto.
Yes.
Yes, so that's...
Cody is currently sitting in it.
Yeah, I'm sitting in it right now.
And so you have, I mean, you're going to keep doing this. And if, you know, people want more information, where can they go?
Well, you can find us on Facebook if you look up Great Canadian Dueling Pianos, or you can come to our website, which is www.dueling.ca.
Okay. And, you know, Joel, I didn't ask about your background. I mean, you have an incredible background as well, but you toured with multi-platinum artists, I should say. Can you tell us a little bit about your background?
So I have had a really charmed life. I have been very lucky to be in the right place at the right time. I got hired almost straight out of university to work as the resident musician at the Savoy Hotel in London, from where I met some amazing agents and producers. And I ended up doing some touring with a band called CCR. And that took me like all over America, which was lovely. It wasn't the hugest or longest of experiences, but it was definitely one that stayed with me. And I've played on many people's albums and all kinds of things. I've been treated remarkably well. But actually, I am most happy doing this because you can put me in front of 60,000 people, but actually it's nothing like as exciting as being in a room with 500 people who are all screaming along to their favorite song. Because we call them like whites of their eyes gigs. I like being up close and personal. A sea of people is very, very cool, but it very quickly becomes the same. Every night becomes the same. It's just a sea of people, right? It's not these people asking for their song, having the best time, these people right up next to you. That is, I think that's why I found my calling doing this.
Yes, yes. And are you both ever nervous, or is there a ritual that you do?
Would you like to have a scotch before we start?
I spank him before we go on stage. I'll do something. I don't. No, there's all kinds of.
That's not what you're supposed to tell everyone.
We you know, we've been doing this for a long time, and it's really interesting. It takes me back to the first time we had this gig in Ottawa once, and we were just starting the company, and we drove all day to get to this gig. We show up, and it's in the Museum of Natural History, which I mean, the size of the stage, you could have put a symphony on that stage. And it was completely made out of wood, and there were totem poles that went up 30 feet in the air behind us. It's an incredible venue. And there are two little pianos sitting in the middle of this giant stage, and a crowd of about, you know, like 90 to 100 people per table. And I just turned to him, and he looked at me, and we just went right out on that stage and just did it. But my God, we felt like a couple of ants going onto this large stage. And by the end of the evening, we had him in the palm of our hands. So that's when I knew that this was going to work, because we were separated from the audience more than we normally would be. We actually had a barrier of about, 8 to 10 feet away from the audience, and people still had a good time. See, normally we're a lot closer to the audience, so they can.
We like doing it in the round, right? So we like people, because people like to come watch us play piano and listen to us sing, and like get right up and close with the action, which often you can't do with a real band, right? Because they'll be on a stage, and you don't want to get too close because like the guitarist will hit you in the head with his headstock. But we're a little more like, well, you can see where I'm about to be. So if you don't get in the way of my piano, then you can come like that, and that's why it's like we're all sitting around someone's living room having a jolly old time. Because we want them to be up close and personal. We want them to be able to see the music being created that they've asked for.
Wonderful. And is there anything else you'd like to add?
Oh
no, I think we've had a pretty good talk. What about you, Cody?
Yeah, just to stay tuned, because we're going to be performing in Toronto more often, and we would love to see some people down there. We'd love to see some new faces. You can certainly come and visit us on our Facebook page and check in.
Absolutely. Do come to our website if you would like the idea of dueling pianos in your neighborhood and you are within a relative distance of Toronto. We are at www.dueling.ca. We'd love to hear from you.
Love it. Thank you both so much for.
Thank you, Christine.
Oh, it was wonderful. And I'd like you to come back.
Sure.
Absolutely. Let's do that.
Yeah. Yeah, we can have a progress report, like a little while closer to Christmas. We'll let you know how freaking busy we are. That would be nice.
Yeah, you got it. Thank you so much. So
I'll
be in touch. Yeah, you're most welcome. So
perfect. All right. Well, I very much look forward to it.
Yes. Okay. Well, bye for now.
Bye for now. Take care.
Thank you.
Hey,